So I do believe we're not too far away from getting into this matchup, but are you going to back your prediction up this week?
Definitely backing my prediction. I think Ground Zero are going to take it.
There we go. So we're getting away into the pistol round here. Week 2 of the Elite Series. And the story is yet to be told here for these two teams, but they have the chance now to put destiny, or fate, as you will, in their own hands.
It looks like we are going to be seeing a 2-3 setup coming out from Sydney Roar. A couple of decoys thrown to the B site to potentially show a bit more presence than what's actually there, although we are going to see Ground Zero slowly making their way to the bottom of mid through underpass and boosting into windows. Steve, inject there, going to be getting the first frag. Headshot straight onto Infrequent, opening up the round for Ground Zero. Now the B split is going to be coming in from Market and Apartments. Look at this Ninja Top Gun taken down. Havoc will be taken down as well. Destiny, though, quite sharp, picking up the 2K, but the trade comes out from Inject. And now, in a 1v2 situation, we are going to see Wizard slowly making his way through Market and out the window. Steve, though, around behind him, unaware that Wizard's out on side. He's held shift the whole way. He's managed to pick up the frag onto Waffy, last week's carry. Inject gonna spot that one on the Wizard. He can't quite find the bomb. But the crosshair placement ready. Smoke a little bit too deep. Wizard will fall and Ground Zero take the first pistol of the day.
Yeah, it was great work by Destiny actually to pick up a double in that instance. Made the round a lot closer than perhaps it should have been because the entry frags coming out from Perth Ground Zero there were on point. So Destiny actually managed to turn that back into a favourable situation per se for Wizard. But, I mean, he had no idea where his last opponent was.
No.
So
it was just timing. He was holding from market door, off angle, trying to play it, waiting for the push, but it came through the wrong little route there, and it almost backfired on Ground Zero.
Yeah, and a quick tech pause here, but no such thing. But
tech pause.
Just how to jinx it in 10 seconds or less. But from a CT perspective there, you don't have a lot of information to work with because that last player never made a sound. He slipped the net. They passed each other like ships in the night. And there's only so much you can do. He closed off the angles that he could. He went for the straight defuse. Pros never fake. We saw it demonstrated case in point there.
Although he couldn't find the bomb.
It's tough. It's tough when you've got a...
it's on the map.
Smoke. It doesn't work like that, though. And then we see the man Top Gun. Now, he's going to be instrumental for Sydney Roar, not just in this game, but obviously across the course of their campaign, because he's a player that has come from a long layoff in top-level competitive Counter-Strike, but last week proved that he could still frag with the best of them. So, I mean, if you want to talk stats in terms of Top Gun, he's up there in pretty much everything. His KDR, obviously, keeping things very efficient in that regard as well. But, I mean, in terms of his accuracy too, it's right on point. He just has a sixth sense about him. And I don't know whether it's in-game or whether he can sense a camera near him, but he always knows. He always knows. Now, interesting to note for me too, he actually has the most amount of clutches as well in the competition, 3. So in a game where you win 16-2, there's a few key rounds there that could go either way that really could bring things back for Chiefs. So he was able to win those rounds for them last week. Cool under pressure, as we said, drawing on that experience. He's going to be a player for them that in those moments across the course of the season, he's going to have to deliver time and time again.
Yeah, he's definitely good at keeping up the motivation of his team as well. Even if they do lose a round, he's always there to say, "Come on, boys, we're going to do it. Let's get back into our heads. Come on, let's tap those heads." And speaking of heads, he actually has the highest headshot percentage of the league.
So do you, I reckon, in terms of casting. I think there's more photos taken of you than anybody else.
Mate, just because you put that on Twitter earlier doesn't mean you need to bring it up. It was a horrible photo. I hate my side profile.
It's fantastic. Yeah, well, there's Snapchat for that. You can work on it.
I was getting my makeup done at all.
So I'm not going to leave you alone throughout the course of this series, by the way.
No, it's fine.
It's going to be candid with Mac every weekend.
Yeah, that's all right. Everyone knows I look like a plank, and I represent that well with my casting.
Yeah, well, Mac is just cam backwards, so I'm just going to follow you around with one. I'm ruining you. But look, as we said, there's a brief respite here for the teams. Now, into this second round, these are the anti-eco rounds, right? These are the rounds that are the toughest to navigate.
In Australia.
In Australia?
Yep.
Which I dare say in the game, because even as an IGL, through different various metas of the game, it's so difficult. You're always making that choice as to whether or not you actually try and build an economy and save some money by not spending everything but you also run the risk of not having enough when it comes to the end of the round, and you're basically with bare bones, tools, nothing really at your disposal because you didn't invest enough into that round as the winning side. So it's a tough round to navigate in that sense, just because of the way that the economy plays out for these teams. So I mean, do you have any tips for anyone that needs to navigate anti? Because I know you cast a lot of Counter-Strike in terms of other circuits as well. You see a lot of various teams. What's working, what's not?
5 Mac 10s, rush mid, up con, guns out.
5 Mac 10s.
Mouse 1W, best combination in the game.
No respect?
No.
Okay.
Even if there are CZs you're running into, Mac 10 fires faster, more bullets in the clip, much faster movement speed, great gun. I'm going to keep coming back to that all tournament. Just
there
buy
you
Mac
go.
10s, boys.
Now, you're the man that's named after that weapon too. But we will go back to Luke on the desk here for just a few moments, so stick with us.
Thanks very much, Jim. I'm really enjoying Mac icing out your sweet puns after you shut me down so hard, mate, and that bike tire stuff. I'll never forget it. Hey, technical timeout at the moment. Let's talk about that first round.
Yes. Look, interesting first round coming out there from Ground Zero. Sydney Roar was set up with the A retake and with 3 players towards B. Ground Zero went to B, which is exactly what Sydney Roar wanted. I think that real tight teamwork and trade fragging as they took the site was the key difference there. Destiny almost shut that down with that double kill from short. It wasn't quite enough. Ended up in a 1v1 though, but Ground Zero able to get the round on the board. Get that.
Was that faster than you would have expected?
That was pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it was interesting. That's what Raw wanted. Raw wanted Ground Zero to come to the B site where they were set up. I think that mid push and the pincer through middle kind of caught Raw off a little bit. But yeah, that tight trade fragging and teamwork coming out from Perth Ground Zero were able to get them across the line in that first round. But yeah, it was very fast paced.
Do you think that's going to be symptomatic of what we're going to see coming up in the rest of the match?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Ground Zero is really going to try and control the tempo of this game. That's going to be real important to them. As long as they can maintain that and keep that and stop any kind of momentum being built by Sydney Raw and some of the experienced players there who are able to build momentum to a point in which they're able to then take control of games and really close them out. If Ground Zero prevents Raw from building any of that momentum, or at least is able to shut it down, then that's what they'll be looking for.
Well, let's have a look at the first round. Let's have a look at some of the vision of what we've got right now. We'll check that out. So yeah, this is how it all went down. It was fast. I don't think anyone was expecting to go over that fast. It's all happening down here. So talk us through what we're seeing. Sure.
Absolutely. So you can see this set up now. They actually have the CTs, Raw have a decoy grenade towards A, but they've got that 3-player set up towards B. Meanwhile, Ground Zero has sent their players towards B. It's this 3-push underpass. It actually catches out the player in mid here that really sets up the round for them. But they've gone into this round with the plan. They were coming to take this B bomb site from the get-go, and they've gone to execute it. Now, this is the opening frag here from Steve. That boost into window catches Infrequent off guard. You'll see as it starts to play out now, this pincer comes onto the B site. The 3 defenders for Raw are there. So this is what they wanted. Great opening frag by Havoc. Steve and Willie chime in with a couple as well. There's that double kill by Destiny before being shut down by Steve. Now, that's what I was talking about. That fast-paced teamwork trade fragging style coming out from Ground Zero is what sort of held onto that round for them there. Wizard here tries to make the play work, does get that first one on Waffy, but the setup's already in place. Steve knows exactly where that bomb's planted. That smoke's going to be no good, and as you can see, he's able to close out the round.
Damn, it was tight though. That's really down to the wire. Hey, right now let's cross back to our casters. Over to you, Jim and Mac.
And that is the most analysed round or pistol round in CSGO history, I think.
I think so, yeah.
But we're going to get back underway with this match just shortly, as we said. Now, this second round has been built up so much, hasn't it?
Too much.
There's a lot of pressure, not just on us now to call it, but now these two teams to perform and make sure that they do the deed now for Ground Zero. They need to make sure that they don't get caught out. There's a lot of information going to be sought in this round. So, as you said, 5 Mac 10s. That's preposterous. Let's see if they do it.
Are they going to do it? Oh, we got 2.
Yeah, 2 out of 5 ain't bad.
And there's 2 more SMGs. Obviously, the planks that decide that they want to pick an ump over a Mac 10. You do you, boo. But I don't agree with it.
There we go. Mac being the umpire and calling people out. Extinct taking the first frag of the round. They're sending in those SMGs to do the dirty work, do all of the information gathering, the harvesters, and that scout is taken down as well. So pistol buy coming out from Raw, and it just proves to be very, very difficult for them to even get a frag on the board. Extinct he's living up to his namesake, at least in terms of eliminating opposition. Top Gun there with the frag onto Extinct now, who has been finally put to bed. But it's 2 versus 4 here. The bomb's down, and this is where they just start hunting with those SMGs to keep that economy going.
We do see Wizard hiding over at Sandwich, also quickly just jumping back there. 3 of those kills were with the MAC-10, pointing that out. Steve hiding here towards Jungle.
If they had 5.
Huh?
Imagine if they
exactly.
had 5.
Yeah, we did see UMP picking up a kill there as well. But Wizard now still hiding, holding the close angle, waiting for Steve, who we will hear running around above him, although he will whiff a couple of shots there, trying to get back to cover. Can't connect anymore. Steve picking up a second for himself and a second round for Ground Zero.
Well dealt with by Ground Zero in that sense. You could see it was obviously Waffy with that AK. He had the role of playing super sensible Counter-Strike. It was basically the MAC-10s, the SMGs had charged off like madmen. They got into areas in the map. We saw Extinct just charging down mid, getting himself entangled in a web of CTs, and he managed to navigate that quite successfully. But, I mean, that's how you play it, right? That's how you play an anti-eco round.
Yep, sometimes.
Sometimes.
So that's how I told them to play it, and it is how Extinct decided he would like to play it.
How many people have Ground Zero got feeding them information? You've got yourself.
I'm not hooked in, I swear. All right. Bo might be watching. All right. They have a HLTV feed, but I'm sure that they don't have it on their computers there. Be a little bit unfair if they did.
Now in the pre-game, everybody highlighted Steve as being a key player. He's off to a cracking start for Ground Zero. So it's important that he gets his economy going, sitting there $5,700 already. So it's pretty clear to me that he's going to be able to pick up that AWP quite early on in the piece as well. So that's good news for Ground Zero because they get their key chess piece on the board quite early on.
Yep. Well, they are T-side, and it is harder to AWP on the T-side. But, using the right utility, you can create that space for your AWPer to get the picks and to open up the sights. So that being said, he may not be the one going in first. Waffy, the man, the dangerous weapon on GZ, should be able to do a lot of entry in as well. I think we did see him open up a lot of rounds last week as well, and Dust too.
Yeah, we did. But guys, we are going to firstly apologise for the technical delays. We'll get those resolved as quickly as we can. But we're going to go to Ash in the crowd.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm just hanging out here with Connie from the Brisbane Deceptors. Now, we're only 2 rounds in. Who's your pick? Do you reckon it's going to be Ground Zero or Sydney Raw?
Sydney Raw. Just wait for the gun rounds to come in and we'll see the AWP in action, hopefully, and Destiny, showing them how to click heads.
Well, so you're playing the Sydney Chiefs later today. You guys hoping for a win, obviously. How confident are you feeling going into that game?
They're using a different lineup today, so they're using 2 draftees, Tama and Doom. It's going to be a really exciting game. Hopefully we can bring it to them.
So what do you think is the hardest part about this kind of a competition? Is it being part of a live audience? Is it the lights, the cameras? What makes you the most nervous?
Definitely playing on stage. I was pretty nervous last week. Hopefully less nerves this week, so I can do better. Also, the crowd was packed out last week, so yeah, it's great.
Yeah, do you think that really helps, the live cheering?
Yeah, sure. I could hear them through my headphones, so yeah, all the cheering's great.
Nice, and I love the banter as well between the teams. But thank you so much for talking to me, Connie. Best of luck for your final match today.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Luke.
Thanks very much, Ash. I just want to rebut. Sean, I think you're doing a great job, and Jim was having a go at your analysis of that pistol round. I think under the circumstances of tech timeout, you did great.
I thought so too.
I'm just standing up for you, man. I know as a ranger, you already cop enough flack for being part of a minority.
It's hard out here.
Without Jim just piling on like that. Do you know what I mean?
Who needs that?
Who needs that?
Who
Not
needs
you.
that? Not me. Plus,
Right,
there's a
mate.
sniper in the crowd somewhere as well. I need to worry about, could get shot at any moment.
Right.
From a prediction round.
Hey, seeing as we are covering again, let's talk about round 2. Let's talk about what we just saw.
Yep. Look, great round coming out from Ground Zero again. We saw the force up from Raw. So they came with a couple of scouts, a couple of CZs and armour. The SMGs of, I think it was Steve and Extinct with 3 and 2 apiece, or 2 and 3 apiece. Really able to shut that round down and work towards building that economy. Like Jim mentioned, Steve's popping off early, which is great because he's going to get his hands on an AWP, I'd imagine, pretty soon, which is going to be obviously a key part of them, pulling away with the win here and getting the momentum on their side.
Yeah, and you talked about that a bit to me in the break just then. You were saying that you feel like this Raw really needs momentum as a team.
Yes.
And out of our control right now, what's happening is...
Absolutely. I think these tech pauses are going to affect affect Raw a little bit more. But I mean, that being said, though, like the guys on Raw have so much experience on big stage matches. So for them, this is probably just another.
Which do you think gives them a slight advantage over Ground Zero? Because as Connie and Ash were just talking about in the crowd right now, it's a very different thing. You know, I mean, this isn't huge today, but there's enough people here and it changes the vibe, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, you can never really be sure how players are going to perform on like the big stage like this, you know, with the live audience and stuff like that. And I think with Sydney Raw, there's enough, you know, they've played in environments like this enough that that wouldn't, I don't think that's going to affect them. I think, though, that they're also a team that needs to build that momentum. Once they build that momentum, you know, they're going to run away with it. We saw that last week as well. Once they built momentum against Chiefs never really were able to get back into the game.
Yeah, so, awesome. All right, well, speaking of building momentum, let's get back into some gameplay. Over to you, Jim and Mac.
Thanks once again, Luke. Look, I know you consider yourself a stand-up comedian. I'm more of a sit-down comedian, but yeah, I know. I can see the shade's already been thrown across the desk. I mean, you're in the middle of it. I'm sorry. I feel really sorry, but that shirt's enough to deflect everything being thrown. Either way, we're going to get back into this match very, very shortly, Mac. Now, this is also a difficult round too, the third round. Obviously, for a CT perspective here, there's not a lot for them to work with in the bank.
No, so far, we are just going to see... Oh, Destiny's got the P2K. That's not a P250. Wow. All right, so we are just going to be using the old default pistols going into the third round. No one trying to get that extra bit of firepower. Everyone just backing themselves to try to tap heads and do as much damage as possible. Willie KS with the Mac 10 going to be picking up the fast little 2K there. Waffy helping him out on Infrequent. Although Wizard with the USP going to be catching him off guard, getting that trade and bringing it back to a 3v2. Now Destiny and Wizard looking to retake on the A site. Molotov coming out will force them out from behind default, but Steve at long range with the UMP going to be taking down Wizard and finding another onto Destiny as well. And GZ taking it 3-0 so far, but now Sydney Raw should be able to buy up into the fourth.
Steve, part-time janitor, just cleaning up there at the end. And look, at the moment, as we said, this bodes really well for his economy. It's flowing over. The cup runneth over. But he's gone for an interesting strategy here. He's gone for what is considered to be the bonus. That is an interesting smoke. What is considered to be the bonus round. He's gone for that UMP, predicting that there is going to be no head armor on his opposition. So that's actually a very interesting gamble, given looking at the CT kit out.
Yeah, I'm quite happy as well. We didn't actually get a tech pause this round, but we may see Destiny taken down in just a moment as that smoke push comes out. Willie KS is going to be too strong. He did get sprayed down to 19 HP, but he will survive for the moment. Top Gun hiding behind the pillar will find the first, but he does get dinked down 8 HP as well. Bomb is now in his control. Teammate coming in, Havoc going to pick up the double. Waffy though, trading it out, finding Top Gun. Now Extinct and Waffy in a 2v3. Are they going to be able to bring this one back? Havoc, timing not going to be going in his favour as he walks over towards the door. This bomb will be planted successfully, and we will see Sydney try to go for the retake, although early frag coming out from Infrequent. Waffy has been spotted. Push coming from both ways, but Infrequent going to find his second retake frag, and we are going to see Sydney Raw picking up their first round of the match.
And I'm not going to hesitate to call Top Gun the Top Gun, because in that particular round, he held down that bomb site. You could see that he was being completely swarmed by opposition. It's a tough gig for him to be able to perform under those conditions, because he's got multiple angles to worry about. He was also worried about his own positioning as well. He had to make sure he wasn't going to get shot from short whilst taking an angle into the B halls. He timed it right, took a lot of damage, but stayed alive for long enough for his teammates to actually get into good positions there as well. Good round from Infrequent as well, picking up some Ts that were potentially over-peaking in some of those instances, but when you get caught up in that bomb site, it's difficult for the Ts to reposition themselves here. But this is the beauty of the fact that GZ have kept their economy really well in check. They're able to easily afford to buy into this second round. Steve went for the bonus round last round, so them losing this round is actually not that much of an issue for them. It would have been an issue potentially for Sydney Raw had they lost more members than the last round.
Yeah, they still actually have a stronger buy than what Sydney Raw have as well. Top Gun forced onto that FAMAS.
Now, they went for the double AWP last round as well, but they're not sporting it this round. You can see it's already cost them a lot of economic damage, should I say.
Yeah, and we do see a different setup coming out from Raw. They took that early mid control, showed a lot of presence there, whereas Ground Zero did not. But we are going to see a bit of a slow A split coming out a little bit late. Chaotic, lurking at the bottom of mid, late window smoke, allowing him to move around and not worry about all of those angles, although Wizard going to be tapped on the side there. Down to 42 HP. Will drop. Willie KS looking to finish him off, and through the wall, he'll be taken down. Chaotic finding one of his own. Havoc with one, and Infrequent getting the shot of his own. Now a 1v3 situation. Infrequent posts on to a main. Connects the shot. Ground Zero are going to lose yet another round. Raw stringing two together.
Infrequent's just picking up frags all over the map. It must be that pink hat. Honestly.
Pink hat.
Yeah.
It is a pretty hat.
I can put it down to nothing else, really. But he's everywhere at the moment. He's picking up frags at B, he's picking up frags in mid, he's picking up frags in at A as well as they're getting in. So his movement across the map, he's not really feeling restricted at all. He's finding a frag here, he's finding a frag there. He's able to get himself, as we said, into key positions to make it an absolute nightmare for Ground Zero, who are doing the good work early.
He's getting everywhere early. I did actually hear he got to the airport at 6 a.m. this morning. And
that's keenness.
He was ecstatic about that.
That's time to drink it through.
Definitely.
That's what you give yourself when you get there that early. But in terms of Wizard, as we said, they're the pairing to watch out for. These guys have won championships together. They've been quite a dynamic duo in the past, but we haven't seen them in play for quite some time. And as Sean mentioned on the desk, I know we throw him a lot of shade, but that's why he wears sunglasses. He's prepared. He has played his best. Yeah, he's played his best Counter-Strike together. When they're playing together, that was when they got their best run of results. So I'm keen to see how they continue to work that pairing as things go on.
Yeah, well, we did manage to get through another 3 rounds there before another pause came out, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully next time we make it to about 5, and that'll take us closer to half-time.
And we might take another look here at round 4 and how it played out, because for me this was an interesting one. As we said, there was a lot of action going on across the board. Now it all started with that smoke. For me, that is a key smoke. You lose that smoke in mid, you give Infrequent a chance at picking up a frag early on in the piece here, but Wizard, obviously, it was a fairly default spread from the CTs. In fact, a lot of freedom being given to Ground Zero in the early instances, but, I mean, is that Destiny here? That's short. Now, this was an interesting flash through the smoke. It really caught Destiny off guard.
He was aware of it. He did do a ton of damage through that smoke. He just couldn't pick up a single kill, unfortunately, for him. And look at this. This is when Top Gun holds his ground, picks up that first frag, full trust in his teammate. Jiggle peeking both sides, but he will waffy in midair with that shot. That's just unlucky there for the Raw. They could have saved another gun going later into the round.
Now, we don't see it here, but Infrequent actually picks up another frag. And this is the guy peeking the window right now, so you can't do that against a player like Infrequent. He's just aware of what angles they're going to be taking in that situation, and he just held it down because in that particular instance it's a 3 versus 2. There's pressure on the T side. The T side are the ones that need to make something happen, because if they just let themselves get traded out, just by default in terms of numbers, it's the CT side that wins.
Yeah.
So you do need to make a play in that instance. Obviously chose wrong. But, I mean, things started to roll on there for Sydney Raw. They're able to get themselves a second round, and that's really important for CT side economy.
Yeah, well, the crab walk through the window, next to the window, definitely not the peak of choice. You could go much faster, potentially catch Infrequent off guard there with the AWP. You don't want to slow peek an AWP. And that's what
that's right, actually. That's a really interesting point. I see a lot of people doing that all the time in terms of they know they're coming up against an AWP or anything with a scope, and they take the slowest route possible. They crouch, they crab walk out, and still scratch their head when they get picked.
Why is he watching there? Yeah. I don't get it. And then in hindsight, you go, oh, wait, he has an AWP. He's just going to be holding one position, not moving for optimum accuracy. Hits the shots. There you go.
There we go. And obviously we've got some support for Sydney in the crowd here. It was a little bit quiet when Ground Zero names were called.
Yep.
So I don't think there's too many people travelling from Perth to support. You guys seem to be sending your own entourage every week. Ground Zero does.
I'm over here. We got Sean over, so that's the start. Like if Bo Excel did come over as well, it'd be good to see him, actually showing some support to his team rather than sitting back in his lounge room with a beer, or with a dare rather, just enjoying himself, relaxing. Yeah.
All the essentials here, but these are the best rounds so far in the match, all 4 of them. So we're going to take a quick look at those and bring you guys up to speed, because this feels like a Naruto episode with that much filler. And this is obviously where it started off. Destiny here from a different perspective. This is what we didn't see. There's 2 frags where he got eventually taken down. So this is, I think it was Willie KS here. It was really playing on the chaos.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, this is a different round to what I'm thinking of. Don't worry.
Oop, there we go. But you can see that, as we said, the decision making from these guys at the moment is on point. Now, this is the support frags there from Havoc, that double from the doorway there. Again, crucial because Top Gun is just holding them up. They're waiting for him to peek, and he fully capitalised on that here. Now, this is infrequent. He's been moving around the map so much, and as we said, really shaking things up. Important for an AWP on that CT side to be unpredictable, and it's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah. Just be in those positions that they aren't aware, they aren't going to pre-fire, and, you come out on top.
And look, we apologise for the issues that we're experiencing in-game, but we won't hold you here. We'll go back to Luke.
Thanks so much, fellas. Look, huge 2 last rounds there, yeah? We're really turning it around.
Absolutely. That 4K by Infrequent in that last round is incredibly telling. If he's, going to be in fine form like that as he starts things off with the AWP, then yeah, I'd be scared if I'm ground zero, which I am ground zero, and yes, I'm scared.
And you were talking a bit to me about Infrequent and him, and this kind of being his comeback moment, yeah?
Absolutely. I think I've always, personally really rated Infrequent as a sniper, as an AWP player. Some of his form towards the end of 2016 was some of the best sniping form from an Australian AWPer that we've seen. Since then, he has struggled a little bit to find his feet in a few different teams that he's played in. But like I mentioned in the pre-game, that sort of duo with Wizard was his teammate at the end of 2016. That was, I think, a key part to keeping Infrequent playing well. He's now back up there. He's got Wizard by his side. So if he keeps playing like we just saw then this is going to be a scary game.
Awesome stuff. Well, let's watch some more action from Infrequent and the rest of the players. Back to you, Jim and Mac. Let's get into it.
I'm going to give you a momentary respite here, mate. Like you're being caught completely off guard. I'll let you drink it through.
Oh, no.
Was that the action?
I've soiled my paper. Oh well, I didn't need that information anyway.
Yeah, you really weren't reading from it, you're just flicking through it. But we're going to go back into game here in this matchup, as we do see Perth Ground Zero and Sydney Raw get back underway. Now, Sydney Raw have done a wealth of good in now keeping the Perth Ground Zero economy quite low. As you can see, that they're only coming into this one with a fairly light buy, pistols here and there. There's a few smokes, a few flashes that look like they're going to be holding key to the round. But Mac, the Ground Zero guys, obviously, as you said, you've been watching them quite a bit. In these sorts of rounds, obviously now you can see over the back of their shoulder there, they've got a mysterious figure who's not just blocking the screen, but it's also a coach.
Oh, that man, yes, hiding in the shadows. That is the only PDG. Recent acquisition from Ground Zero. They needed a couple of chair slaps on their side.
That's what was missing.
They brought him in for the motivation. They don't have a Top Gun on their team to keep them motivated, so they've had to bring in a coach to do it.
There you go. But obviously, in terms of just motivation, he provides more than just chair slaps. He's that extra set of eyes when things really start to get quite gritty for them. In terms of coming up against those tougher rounds, you see teams take tactical pauses. In fact, I'd argue that teams with coaches and someone over their shoulder are more likely to actually use their tactical pauses a little bit more effectively than those that don't.
Yeah.
One of my biggest criticism of teams in recent times has actually been the fact that they don't utilise their tactical pauses. So that to me, I mean, if you've got it available to you and you're down by some margin, why not use it? Why not utilise that tactical pause? Just take some time, drink it through, just chill out, get yourselves back to equilibrium.
Yeah, just give yourself that moment to let the fresh eyes give you a different perspective on the game. Obviously, the IGL is never going to be right 100% of the time, but fresh set of eyes can divide the pressure on the IGL and let everyone else chill out a little bit.
It's not just the IGLs that are feeling the pressure right now, but look, we're going to join Ash in the crowd. I believe she's wrangled up someone else to have a chat to.
Yes, I have. I'm actually with Top Gun's brother. Soldier, how are you today? Are you enjoying the vibe?
Yes, it's a very nice atmosphere. It's, I came in here and I didn't know it was a cinema. And my friends let me know, we're in a cinema. What
a nice surprise. And how is it watching your brother play?
It's good. I'd rather be up there with him,
So you play?
Yes, I do. I've been playing professionally and, for fun for maybe about 15 to 20 years. So
that's awesome. Well, how do you think that the tech issues really affect the game and the momentum?
For the crowd, it's not really it's not good. We want to watch a full game of Counter-Strike. We don't like it when it gets paused. For the pauses, it depends who's got the momentum. So if a team's got momentum, then it's going to really affect their game. So the pauses work in favour for the team that's actually losing.
Well, the good news is we're back on track. So I'm going to go back to you, Jim, and see how the games are going.
Let's just find out how they are going, because we're going to go back into the match now. Mac, as we said, I keep getting drawn to your shirt and the coffee stain on your notes. I'm sorry.
I tried to hide it. Look, I moved it. It was a travesty dropping there. You know, every drop that has gone down onto the paper is a drop that's not in my system.
It's a drop wasted.
It's a drop wasted.
And speaking of wasting, we're not wasting any more time getting back into this one. We're keen to get that one underway. As we said, give these guys here in the cinema a spectacle to actually watch for. Now, I remember seeing something similar like this in the breakdown, but it's obviously going the way of Ground Zero at the moment. Now, they're trying to get that bomb down. That's the objective here. And they're not having much success even getting into the bomb site right now. Destiny takes two. Frequent takes two. And it's just left on Steve.
If anyone can do it, Steve can do it. And here we go, seeing him at least take one of the Raw down. Destiny will be the victim, but Wizard fast on the trade, and the Raw evening that one out. 3 rounds each.
And now with the bye coming back in for Perth Ground Zero, so for them, important that they get themselves back on track here. They won the first 3 rounds. That's not the easiest thing to do, by the way, as well. Successfully navigate those anti-eco rounds and continue to capitalise on that good pistol. Not many teams are able to do that early on in the piece, but we can see now both teams. This is a key round for both teams, because it really can go some way to actually. Ooh, there's a bit of damage early on, but. It's a really key battle here for both these two teams at the moment, because this is where one team can really start to edge away from the other.
Especially Ground Zero with the round loss bonus. Should be able to go for at least a pistol if they lose here, but Sydney Raw may be able to buy up into the next one. But it will obviously help with the momentum as long as there are no more pauses coming into play. Extinct still waiting here in Palace. Slowly throwing a bit of utility. Ground Zero still trying to play it sneaky, but we do see the Raw starting to push mid, looking for that information. And I think even Top Gun was jumping around with apps there, not seeing anything either. And with this utility being made, the early rotates are coming in. Wizard in a bad position, no one really here to trade. But he won't be spotted for the moment. Infrequent, whiffing those shots, unfortunately for him. Trying to find something through the smoke. Havoc somehow surviving with 15 HP. Who's going to be the first to pick up the frag in this situation? It will be Wizard. The man unchecked on site, picking up the 2K. Massive impact here, allowing his teammates the time to rotate in. He's in a rough position. No one going for that trade just yet. Waffy picking up the double. Can he find a third? Destiny going for the peak. He will get that trade. And Steve on the AWP. Going to whiff that shot, unfortunately for him. Fully blind and mollied out. Last alive. This bomb is definitely going to be defused there. Infrequent with the USP. Going to be taking Steve down. And we are going to see the Raw getting that defuse off. Massive opening on the retake from Wizard. The sneaky boy. Huge plays.
And a Wizard arrives precisely when he means to. And what I mean by that was he bided his time quite well in the site there, trigger discipline, holding your nerve when you've lost the entire bomb site. Your teammates, you know at that particular point in time, your teammates have been smoked out. So a lot of that round actually rests on the back of Wizard staying alive, but more importantly, staying alive whilst his opposition had no idea where he was. And we actually see now the pistol coming back out from the perspective of Perth Ground Zero as Willie KS gets taken down here, but they're just trying to flood the mid and potentially pick up a cheeky frag or two, but I don't think they actually have too much success just yet. They've taken a lot of damage here. Waffy finds a frag though. Extinct goes down, but that bomb is now dropped in mid-con.
Yeah, there's a perfect use of utility there in Connector to pick up that frag for Sydney Raw. We are going to see Waffy. He's managed to get his hands on the AWP. He's going to try to get a bit more aggressive up in a window. Havoc giving it up as he is quite low on 20 HP, but going straight under the crosshair. Doesn't matter. As he did peek, Havoc picks up that one, and the AWP is out of Ground Zero's hands. Now, Chaotic, 78 HP, Steve on 2, but he does have the Deagle, so if he can catch one of the Raw off guard, it could be devastating.
Now, Steve's just picked up that AWP now. His HP doesn't really matter as long as he gets the shot off, but his teammate's been taken down here. Wizard again finding himself some fantastic positioning. And Steve... Oh, Wizard.
Dirty shot.
Nearly had his scalp taken. And I mean, that'd be a shame with hair like his.
Yeah, once again, a huge round from Wizard, picking up the 4 frags. Slowly catching up to Infrequent there on the leaderboard as well.
And to me, this really speaks to what Sean was saying in the pre-game. Look at the pairing, Infrequent, Wizard. 10 frags apiece, the top of the scoreboard. They were the dynamic duo. They were the guys that we had to keep our eyes on throughout this entire matchup. As we said, the reuniting of these two players, that was when they played their best CS, and it looks early on in the piece that that story is actually shaping up the same way. So I'm really keen to see how the rest of this match goes for them. But Destiny getting super aggressive here in mid.
Here we are, Willie waiting for this flash to come into Con, clearing that one. Top Gun not actually going to spot the Con push, fully blinded as well, so he may not heard any noise. As he does fall back towards the B site, we see Willie pulling out that Molotov. And Havoc trying to hold here. We'll find one on the Waffy. Wizard taking down Willie as well. The trade comes out from Extinct, and now in a 3v4 situation. The bomb is over towards the A site. Havoc knife out, going to be caught off guard and taken down. Chaotic with the play to even it out. 3 players alive for both teams.
And they seemingly got up mid-connect unchecked here at the moment, but Destiny at the moment, he loves to go unchecked, and that is what you can't do. Now, Destiny, shot missed there by Steve, but that'd be crucial here as he takes the second, and the third potentially, no, the spray, not quite on it, but that grenade could have done a lot of damage here. It eventually means that Chaotic does take down Destiny, but the angle is shut down by Top Gun, and Destiny, once again, slipping the net.
Yeah, that Molotov providing a little bit too much cover. Chaotic couldn't spot Top Gun through it. Unfortunately for Sydney Raw, they will lock down a 6th round. Is that 6 in a row now?
I believe so. So here we go. Here's how it played out. Now Havoc was Molotov out of this position here, but Wizard once again, he only got 1 frag here. But what he's done is taken the focus away from the other areas in the map because, I mean, they're constantly having to check angles to see where Wizard's playing. That is the role that he's playing right now. He's playing just a very passive role on that CT side. And it's boding really well for Sydney Raw at the moment. Now, obviously another pause coming out here. So this one's just purely a tactical timeout. And you can see Willie KS there just communicating what he wants done in the round because he's the IGL. Now, he has the coach standing over the top of him here. But, you know, he's having information fed to him as to what's going on overall. And that's where he makes that tactical adjustment.
Yeah, well, I think this may just be what Ground Zero need. You know, losing that momentum, even with those pauses, couldn't really get anything back, but hopefully this will be the one that they needed. Wizard, the man's hitting everything right now. You know, it's hard to deal with that, especially, you know, maybe just Ground Zero just need to. They've been trading well. They just need to, you know, clear their angles better. There's been many times when they aren't checking the corners, and that is definitely coming back to bite them.
Well, that's right. Now that they've basically forced the hand of Perth Ground Zero that they have to check every corner now or face the wrath of Wizard, and he's certainly making it really difficult for them now. Another gun round coming out here. Good mid control from Perth early on. They got themselves down into mid connector here, and you can see that smoke just blocks off vision from the A bomb site. It allows them to insert 2 here into the mid connector, and you can see where that bomb is sitting right now. So this is a clear A pincer.
Yeah, and that extra smoke going to clear. Block the side of Wizard, who doesn't really need to see anyway. Almost picking up the double, but Stephen Chaotic going to find a frag apiece from Waffy. Will find one. He does get flanked by Havoc. Good trade from Extinct. Now Top Gun last alive. If anyone can do it, it's this man. Oh, almost picking up the double spray down, but he couldn't connect the headshots there. He was the man with the highest headshot percentage. So
he was also the man with the most clutches as well.
He was.
1vX situations. He had 3 of them last week. So, I mean, for a team to keep their momentum like they did last week, like Sydney Raw did, he was key in that. But unfortunately, not a lot he could do there because as soon as he showed presence, there was at least 2 crosshairs trainer in his position here. So Perth Ground Zero doing a fantastic job so far of taking control of mid here, but this is some resistance coming out from Sydney Raw here. They're actually taking the fight. Great work from Havoc there, finding the frag. Infrequent does his job as well and picks up that frag at, I believe it was A ramp where he's sitting at the moment. So in terms of just taking some initiative on the CT side and pushing things to their opposition, they're doing a really good job here. Now we said CT side's the defensive side. Doesn't mean you have to sit back the entire time.
No, it doesn't, and it looks like Steve is going to be trying to put in the effort here to bring it back. They are 3 men down, but Raw do have the information, but Steve's got the aim. And he's hit the headshot there. Top Gun hiding behind default, waiting for another peek. Waffy looking to get aggressive. Steve's going to hit that one. Nice flick with the wallbang. And they brought it back to a 2v3, although Wizard ready for that one. Waffy unaware, and Infrequent going to catch Steve off guard, and we are going to see Sydney Raw potentially resetting ground zero there.
Yeah, potentially. There was no bomb plant, obviously, in some of these rounds. It's not a hard reset.
Not a hard reset.
In terms of what they're able to buy, but, I mean, there we go again. Wizard, Infrequent, really turning things up at the moment. But again, Steve, I'd love to see some of the shots from his perspective. He's on. Now, he's going to be key for them. It is the T side, so I mean, part of the course here, they're on track for that. I mean, it is a slightly CT-sided map, so if the scores continue to play out like they are and they're trading rounds, I mean, ground zero, if they get themselves 5 rounds, they give themselves enough to work into the second half.
Especially being on that T side, you know, Mirage generally a CT-sided map, but Sydney Raw had something different to say about that last week. Anyway, Top Gun going to be on the other side of that smoke, not ready for the dry smoke push. Wizard jumping up, going to be caught in midair. Willie with the CZ taking him down, and now we are in a 3v5 situation. GZ with the 2-man advantage.
And handing over guns.
Handing over guns too. They've got that bomb down. Decent amount of utility on their side to hold this one. Oh. Ragdoll going crazy there. Havoc on the end of Extinct's CZ. Now the CT's still looking like they were going to go for it for a moment. Destiny holding. Looking to do some more damage. Hiding in the corner. GZ, they know they're expendable. They will get aggressive here. Waffy with the CZ. Jumping through the window. Catching Destiny off. Not much you can really do when there's a jumping CZ coming at you.
No, I mean, they potentially could lose all 5 weapons here in ground zero and keep all 5 members alive, and they do. And that is a flawless round from ground zero.
And they picked up every rifle.
That is exactly right. They got everything for free in that instance. So that's a disaster for Sydney Raw, because they not only have to full buy here, but potentially have their own economy reset as well. So, Infrequent.
Wow.
He does what he wants. They're forcing into this. So we've got Destiny on a scout, we've got Top Gun on a Deagle, Wizard on the M4, Havoc on that P. Oh, 5. Wow. 5-7. A 5-7. That's still in the meta. Glass Cannon on Infrequent, but I mean, this is the true Whitlam sampler.
Mate, don't bring that up again, all right? I Googled it and it is Whitlam.
Yep.
All right, you were right. I thought you were just getting the name of the chocolate wrong, but it's all right. Chaotic going to be finding one Infrequent with the fast trade. Picking up a second. Beautiful pick there. And you get the third. Knows that someone's hiding there at Tetris. Extinct getting that bomb down at default, but no one coming CT just yet. He will make his way back to Firebox and be able to hide for just a moment. Steve at the top of mid. I think Infrequent may know the location of this man. Now Destiny with the scout. Going to find one of the Willie. Top Gun and Destiny both falling to Extinct, but he can't do enough. Infrequent has tapped the bomb, although Steve's quite far away. Oh! The man picking up a 4K. Too early, too late. And Steve as well, a little bit too late to the party there.
Now, I know everyone jokes about that one guy that buys the AWP when the rest of the team can barely afford anything. That worked.
It worked in that.
It worked perfectly. And I mean, when the man's hot. And he's hitting shots like this as well. 2 shots, really set up the round here for the retake as well. Took 2 players out of the game completely. And this is now a slugfest between these 2 teams in terms of their economy. Whoever wins this next round obviously might streak away here and really do some damage. But ground zero have got themselves to par for the course.
Yeah, we'll quickly go back. Infrequent, after picking up those 2 frags, he did fall back into con to wait for his teammates to rotate. He didn't over-aggress. He didn't make any mistakes at all. He did kind of, it wasn't a bait, it was a trade when his teammates did come in through CT. But, you know, it was perfectly played.
This is a fantastic boost. DMG 90 coming out. And, like, don't get me wrong, in terms of fire rate, this weapon is cracking. 50 bullets as well, can really do some damage. But they've let their team, let ground zero get completely into this bomb site for free. P90 comes into play, looking 1, can he get 2? Yes!
Almost the third on the spray transfer. Extinct, they're going to pick up the 2K, taking down Havoc as well, and bringing it back to a 2v2. Wizard may have been spotted crossing there, 19 HP, but he can't take down Extinct. Bit of utility to use, and that bomb going to be planted successfully as well. Waffy and Extinct playing shoulders next to each other. Wizard looking to go for the retake here. I think he has an inkling. Spots Extinct on the jiggle peak. He's going to hit the shot that he needed. And there we are, GZ going to find themselves a 6th T-sided round.
There we go.
There you go. So
I don't even need to commentate. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just throw it up to the desk.
Petey's missing his commentating days. He's up the back, yelling into our microphone.
I believe it's a reset. I think that's what it was called.
I think I heard it, yeah.
Okay. Good, we got that
So
term
now,
down.
I believe the Raw may know that they're reset now. If they didn't see it on their scoreboards, they definitely heard it.
But it's the last round of the half, so they've got to buy what they can. There's no, you don't take your money into the next half, so just throw everything, throw caution into the wind, and just some pistols coming out here largely. I mean, Destiny on that scout as well, infrequent. His score at the moment, I think he's like 17 frags, really jetting ahead of the rest. I think it's just Wizard sitting there on 13, but now this is a real danger round again for Ground Zero, because they're going to take some chances here, Sydney Roar, and these guys have shown that they're not just sitting back in the bomb sites here. They're making some plays. We saw them take mid earlier on in the piece. They don't really have the utility or the options to do so here, but I mean, already they're heaping players towards this A bomb site. You can see that they've actually pushed up into good positions here. Even B Hall, so Top Gun's getting a lot of information for his team right now.
Yeah, there's also 2 of the 3 AWPers on the team do have the budget AWP. The Deagle, $700 pistol, 1-shot headshot at most ranges, unless you're shooting through objects, obviously. Anyway, Wizard caught in the close range here. Extinct will find him, but Destiny gets the trade. Chaotic finding Top Gun somewhere else on the map as well. Havoc here with the 5-7 holding strong. Will manage to pick up a frag onto Willie, but the trade comes out. Now you're left in a 3v2 scenario. Infrequent jiggle peeking gets the info that Destiny's over at bench. Oh, no, sorry. Destiny's actually in market. He's going to be taken down through the wall by Steve.
What? Hello?
Steve?
I didn't know there's a wall there. There we go.
He's just hitting everything through the wall. He actually didn't hit the shot through the wall at the start of the round, which was a much easier shot to hit than what he just did.
Well, that's how it goes, right? You miss the easy shots and you hit the difficult ones when you're on. But I mean, look, first round, or first half, should I say, sorry, here, it actually meant, it went really well for Perth Ground Zero. It was a tough battle, but they got themselves back into it here, guys. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the second half shortly. Don't go anywhere. It is coming up after the break. Back here in the second half. This is what we didn't see. This is what Steve didn't see either. It didn't matter anyway, he hit that shot.
I didn't need to see.
That was dirty. Now, not a Porto's at 9 a.m. in the morning dirty, but dirty.
Oh, Luke wasn't ready for that one. Didn't hear it. Oh well, he didn't need to. Anyway, we are getting ready to go into the second half. That first half, great little comeback from Ground Zero towards the end.
Yeah, surprise package as well in terms of Ground Zero. They looked like they'd done enough. They got themselves par for the course there, but in the end, it really bled out for Sydney Raw because their economy wasn't in check. On the TT side, you lose a lot of rounds late in the half, and you let scorelines bleed out just because you don't have the economy to keep up. As the rounds go on and the timer goes on, the team, funnily enough, that if they don't have enough utility, as the round gets longer and longer and longer, the chance they have of winning the round actually diminishes quite a lot because they don't have that money for the retakes. They don't have the utility, to spend on the retakes. They don't have what they need when that round really breaks down here. So that, as we said, they really needed to make some plays. I think they maybe were a little bit too passive on those pistol buys, but we're going to go back into the second half here, Mac. Ground Zero, they need to pick up where they left off and obviously carry this one out.
Yeah, well, on the CT side, generally seen as the strongest side, Sydney Raw didn't really show that. Obviously, they're going in with a 1-round advantage into the second half. But is it going to be enough? We will have to see. Raw, last week, T-side Mirage, they did an absolutely amazing job of taking down the Chiefs. Let's see if they can do the same to Ground Zero now. The
question is the jig up? Does everybody know what Raw are capable of on that T side here, but a different pistol coming out from them here, and it's going to waterfall out of that palace, and it's on Extinct now to try and find a frag. He gets taken down immediately. But that smoke, ooh, Steve, he's on today.
Yep, with the pistols, hitting those shots. Slowly holding here at Jungle. Havoc continually re-peeking. Not the smartest idea, but it seems to be working. Big flank coming out from Chaotic and Willie. Willie making his way through Palace. Destiny ready for the flank. He sees the toe, but he's not going to wait for the peak. Can't hit that head if it's behind a wall, mate. And Destiny will find one of the chaotics. Steve and Willie both going to find some frags there. Willie with the double on the retake. And GZ, they've got the time. They've got the defuse.
Willie
Picked up both ones. Crazy.
the silent assassin.
Yeah.
Picking up frags there when things were really broken down. Great job by Waffy too, just holding in that CT spawn, waiting out the push. Now it's important for the T side in that post-plant position to do something different, to take that CT ramp. As soon as the Ts have a hold of CT ramp, it's really difficult for the CT side to retake in that instance. Funnily enough, they did get that power of position, but it seemed as though they were completely unaware of the pincer coming in. So,
Yep.
I mean, they didn't really capitalise on the fantastic position they had in the post-plant. So they're disappointed there, Sydney Raw, and now they're just back onto that pistol buy.
Well, it is, you know, if you have the double flank coming in, generally you'd have the two players working together, looking to go for the trade coming in through A-ramp or Palace, not splitting up and going through Palace and A-ramp at the same time. So, obviously, generally speaking, you wouldn't be ready for the split that big coming in on a retake, especially with that much time remaining in the round.
You're never ready for that much jelly.
Anyway, in to the second of the half, you do see Waffy waiting with the Molotov for a B-rush to come in, but Sydney Raw, they're just going to be playing for picks here.
Super passive.
They got that bomb plant, so they haven't bought up into this round. They may just be trying to get that bomb down one more time, or catch the CTs, getting too aggressive, try to pick up a couple of those guns, save them into the next round, or use them to try to win this one. Anyway, a minute has passed, and we are still waiting for first contact. Looks like Steve's going to be tagged down to 6 HP, but he will just survive, just barely. Video tool going to be used. Chaotic. First frag of the round, taking it down. Havoc there. Top Gun dropping off the balcony. Chaotic finding himself a second and a third. Pulls out the USP. Dirty, dirty headshot. Straight onto Infrequent. Waffy finds one on the Wizard. Destiny will find Willie. Picks up the MP9. Could potentially buff the economy, but he does go for the repick. Waffy with the MP7. Ready for that one. Ground Zero take the lead. 9-8.
Yeah, look, Top Gun turning into a drop bear there, didn't actually capitalise on his position though, unfortunately. The Glock not really effective. It's one of those hit or miss guns.
Yeah.
But from a Raw perspective now, they've got themselves back into this. They've got the full buy coming up against some SMGs. That means, I mean, Waffy here, he's taking a chance, so Steve. So keen to see also what position Chaotic plays as well, just because they know that they're not going to be able to take those ranged duels.
Yeah, well, we do see two of the players quite early were playing close towards A-ramp on the A site here. But it looks like they're going to fall back for a moment. Waffy coming back closer to site. Sydney Raw holding a bit of an anti-eco play. Still watching back through T-spawn, holding top mid push, and playing that back apps position as well. Everyone quite close, giving up a lot of map control, but, you know, they can catch the CTs off guard if they do go and push the A site there.
And it seems as though Ground Zero are just waiting out to see what Raw do. I mean, obviously they've had the luxury of sitting back and watching the play last week on this map. So in terms of what is on that T side, they should have a fair idea of what's going on, but it's very different from Raw this time. They're not really as focused on playing as freely in mid. They're very cautious to see what the counters are. And again, they're just sounding out their opposition. So in terms of the slower approach, it hasn't really wielded any success just yet, but Steve could be punished here. He didn't actually convert that into a frag. This is a lot of damage to Top Gun, but this B split's on.
Yeah, that is definitely the problem with the UMP at mid to long range, but there we are. No. Waffy going to be finding the 2K onto Top Gun and Infrequent, holding close in ladder. We have Extinct finding one, Steve one as well. Now Wizard last alive. I'm not sure if they're aware that he is up in apartments with the AK. He does have the range advantage here. We'll find one onto Willie, looking for a bit more, but Extinct with the Famis going to be picking that one up. And GZ, 2-round lead now. Stringing them together, Raw. On the fly round, not doing enough.
This could get really dangerous for the Raw here at the moment, because they didn't get the bomb down here. But you can't let that happen.
Oh, that was dirty.
You can't let that happen, unfortunately. You need to be a trade there. And Frequent, obviously, just the victim of trying to get himself into the choke point early on. It seemed to be as though both of them were focused on other areas of the map. So great job there from Waffy. Now we questioned the decision to keep that MP7, but he made it work.
He definitely made it work, and he upgraded to the AK for free. Extinct with an MP9 ready for Raw. Does not have any armor, although the dink coming out. Steve barely survives with only 17 armor as well. Waffy going to pick up a frag onto Destiny. as he tried to push through the Molotov, but he couldn't make it through in time. Infrequent will take down Waffy, but Havoc falls to Chaotic, and now in a 4v2 situation, Sydney, they're still looking for those guns. Infrequent does pick up the AK, looking to tap the CTs down.
Chaotic.
Yeah, Chaotic, exactly.
Taking, in namesake, and of course the nature of the round of what is happening, but the KS could be caught out here if they do get this right. Is Crosshair not really ready for this, but his positioning obviously needs to back off a little bit, because that doesn't have a lot of information as to what's happening now at the moment. You can see the CT side, super spread out, but Wheelie holds strong. That B-bomb site is his to take, and he is the gatekeeper right now, as Sydney Raw just fall behind slightly on the scoreboard. In terms of what they're going to be able to buy in this round, they are coming out with what is going to be a very, very close to full buy, if not completely full in terms of utility. Yep, they're just rounding things out. Infrequent there, more importantly for him, he's back on that AWP. That's what I like to see, because he's been quite menacing with that, and it's important that he gets back into the game quite quickly on. But that being said, Steve is feeling quite comfortable right now. They've strung a few rounds together. He's been instrumental in that. Do you feel as though he's warmed up a little bit too much?
Not too much, mate. Just enough.
Never enough?
No, never enough. He knows his angles, obviously, shooting everyone through the walls. You know, if this was MM, people would be calling cheats straight away. Mate, you can't do that, all right?
Yeah,
You're not allowed to shoot through walls. It's a physical object. Crazy. Anyway.
Get out your set squares.
That's it. Although, in
know your angles.
I want to give it to him last round. He did pick up the AK, and he got the flick onto Willie. It just wasn't enough.
No.
Yeah. But was it Willie? No, it was Waffy.
Waffy here.
It was Waffy, yeah.
Willie's holding down this B-bomb site, so in terms of what's going on for first ground zero, they don't have a lot of information just yet. Now, Infrequent gives up some information that there is some presence in the B-bomb site and those B halls. But in the meantime, the rest of the team are actually making a complete rejig of where they're going. So for ground zero, this could be dangerous, because they've only got one man position on that A-bomb site, and he doesn't have a lot at his disposal right now. He's got an MP9, a flash. Flash, I mean, can make a big difference, but in terms of firepower, he's not rocking anything special.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame to not see him with that Mac 10. Obviously, you can't buy one on the CT side, but, you know, strong position in the corner. If it is not going to be mollied, he may be able to do a lot of damage here. Oh, he's actually up on the balcony. We'll find one before being taken down. A good trade coming out from Infrequent. Steve with the orb taking out Havoc as well. Looking for a second, and he's going to find it. Almost a third through the smoke, but Destiny going to be getting that trade. Chaotic going to stop the... Oh, not to stop the plant. He will get the frag, though. Looking for another, as Infrequent swings out from behind the smoke. Destiny last alive. Flicks a little bit too far there. And he will be taken down. Good retake frag from Willie. And ground zero going to pick up a 12th round.
Yeah, now some of you might have noticed that the X-ray vision wasn't on in that round. Now, that's really important for me to actually highlight to you right now. That's exactly what the player sees. They had, Steve, barely any vision. Was still able to operate quite freely. Made a few judgment calls there. Obviously saw the legs of his opposition. It's not an easy shot to hit either, and he's hitting them right now. So from that perspective, I mean, he makes it look easy. It looks so easy when the X-ray's on, but that round there was case in point as to the level of understanding these guys have of the game and how the smokes operate as well. So another gun round coming out here for Sydney Raw. Important that they get the gun. I'll get the bomb plant in as well. But this round, a bit of an interesting one, sending a lot of presence back towards that B-bomb site here. Really, KS has been doing a great job of holding things down, but I mean, that's not where the money is for Sydney Raw, though.
Yeah, all of this early utility being used at the B site isn't drawing a rotate from ground zero just yet. They are just going to hold their ground, go with their gut, and not go for those rotates. What?
I said zero.
Oh, zero.
It's a bad joke. You should be used to them by now.
I'm just going to ignore it and keep going. Anyway, we are going to see a flash coming out into apartments. Not going to do too much. Destiny may have been blinded. Oh, can he spot that head? Looks like he can. He's not going to shoot at it until he gets a better angle. Destiny will find the headshot. Waffy holding from the pillar, holding his ground, and the rotate is now coming out, although the bomb making its way to top mid may end up heading back to the B site. Now Destiny will find one more onto Waffy. We have Chaotic hiding in the corner here. Will he be able to check the corner? No, Destiny! Not going to clear that angle, and we are going to see Chaotic picking up a double off the back of that misplay.
So patient. So patient, Chaotic. And he gets the third frag as well. That's huge for his team.
Won him the round.
And Destiny had done so much work in opening up that B-bomb site, but the patience of Chaotic in that instance knowing that Destiny would be trying to push for better position, because if Destiny gets control of market, that really makes that B bomb site so difficult to take, because they have to clear out an extra area of the map that takes up time. It also takes up a valuable area for them to rotate through as well. So that, I mean, both made the correct decision in that instance from Destiny's perspective and Chaotic. Chaotic just had the power of position.
Destiny had to make a bit of a gamble, so anyway, we are going to see a bit of action in Frequent. We'll find one with the Scout, hitting the headshot onto Extinct, and Willie getting the trade. Steve finding one on the Top Gun, and then Wizard hitting back and trading it out to bring it back to a 3v3. Bit of a window boost coming out here. Chaotic looking to get aggressive towards A ramp, which will be the play. Maybe easier for him to hold the A site from there. Steve still alive with the AWP as well.
And at the moment, this is really difficult for Perth Ground Zero to hold this map. Reason being, they've got 3 CTs. Look how much ground they have to cover there. You can see those little dots on the radar in the corner. They are so far apart right now, and Sydney Raw have really done a good job of just trying to exploit as much map territory as possible here. But I mean, at the moment, that bomb has to take a really dangerous route to get back through A, but it is a correct decision. Reason being, they obviously have someone on that CT ramp, and they have someone on the T ramp as well. So there's not a lot of options for that bomb to come through. So this is actually a really difficult A bomb side take here, still from Sydney Raw, despite the power of position that they do have.
The thing is, though, Raw have been given so much information. Steve going for those pre-fires through the smoke, hitting ridiculous flicks like that, so it doesn't really matter. But they know that Chaotic's here at A main. They needed to clear it before they can get this bomb down, although Waffy coming up con in the 2v2, 20 seconds remaining. That Molotov gonna buy Ground Zero a little bit of time, as we do see Steve rotating all the way around to jungle. Waffy peeking on his own, making that mistake. Destiny ready for it, and he takes him down. And now we're left in a 1v2. Now all that Steve needs is Raw to give him anything. Go for that peek.
Oh.
Destiny right through the edge of the box. Pre-fire central, right onto Steve's head. That was ridiculous, and the Raw pick up their first round of the second half.
Tell you what, the pendulum continued to swing in that round, didn't it? 1 second it looked like Sydney Raw had split the map quite well, but then they ran into that A bomb site. There was CT sitting on the ramp, there was on the T ramp as well. It was a difficult take for them. Steve hit a ridiculous shot after missing a few, but was under a lot of pressure there.
Yep.
And then missed some easy shots as well, despite having some pressure on him still. So, I mean, look, that round could have gone either way, but for Sydney Raw's perspective, it obviously went the right way for them. And, ooh, some trouble in the kitchen.
Destiny stuck in the corner. I think they know where he is, and Waffy's going to take him down. Beautiful aggression, beautiful play there to hold him in the kitchen with that Molotov and the pre-fire. Isolating him straight into that corner.
Cooking, getting out of hand, and Molotov making it even more difficult there, but Wizard now maybe will be ruining the fact he didn't capitalise on that frag. But from a Sydney Raw perspective, again, they're interesting positions, because if Ground Zero aren't careful, they can be caught out here, and all they need to do is sit back into bomb sites and hold. They don't need to be making information plays now. They've got the number advantage. These are the rounds you should be converting.
2 players on Ground Zero can go down to 1 bullet. Steve, 2. Although Chaotic playing aggressively with only 20 HP, it'll pay off as he takes down Havoc as well, and Frequent falling to Willie. And now Wizard, the only player from the Raw with full HP, is going to be taken down.
Oh, and the,
look at that chair slap. See that?
That's aggressive. And I'll tell you what's aggressive is this play here from Waffy. Super aggressive when he needed to be, though. But, I mean, not as aggressive as that chair slap here. But this is an interesting play, because it clears out the B halls, and there's actually that smoke there as well. So what it does is it really isolates that player. He had no choice. That Molotov meant he couldn't move forward. That smoke meant he had no support, no cover. So a great play there from Ground Zero on the CT side, using their utility to make it really difficult for the T side here. But Chaotic can be caught out. No, he finds a double. Frequent finally levels that ledger. And Willie KS has also got the frag here. But tell you what, that is a quick round. And the change in pace did Raw no favours.
No, I saw that coming and thought that Ground Zero may have been in trouble, but they've just been handed, well, taking its match point. You know, they'd still need to take the match point, but, you know, with a 6-round lead, Raw, not much money left in the bank. They took the gamble, and looks like it hasn't paid off, and the Raw may be about to swap over their jerseys.
And Steve, 26 frags. 26 frags, and he has been popping off, like some of our Street Fighter players were, but Wizard does get taken down there, and could have gone either way. A nice little pop flash would have meant that they had the advantage, but Destiny, that's CZ, does some damage now, and it's back to a 3 versus 4, and we're only 20 seconds into this round.
There you go, and there is a glimmer of hope. The no-scope coming out from Steve, not going to be strong enough. Frequent's Deagle picking up that frag. Now Waffy and Extinct, last two alive, going to have to potentially take a gamble to go for the W here. It may just be worth them saving these weapons, although Havoc caught it top mid. Waffy's going to find himself a second, almost a third. Infrequent just dodging that one.
And that bomb needed to go down.
It definitely did.
That was a great flash though. Waffy could be in trouble. He gets taken down. Some team play here, meaning the frag actually goes back to a 1 versus 1. Infrequent up against Extinct here. Extinct obviously wanting to win the game for Ground Zero, but he can't. Infrequent comes up clutch for Sydney Raw, and they hold on for one more round.
That was it. Infrequent standing right in the middle of the open somewhere where the crosshair would not be placed. You know, Ground Zero thinking he may have just gone back behind cover, tried to play it a little differently, but he didn't. Used his raw aim, hit the shots that he needed to, and Raw, 10th round.
I see what you did there. Raw aim. Giving you props. It's alright, I'm going to run that until it's red.
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Well, there you go. Osmosis, you've learned. Back to the action though. Top Gun's taken a battering early on in the piece here, but an increased pace from Sydney Raw has some pressure being applied to the B halls here, and Frequent gets popped as he is taken down. Now Steve navigating that smoke. I don't think he's seen the action, but shooting through the legs. And still this round hangs in the balance, but it's a 3 versus 5 here. Ground Zero have found the early frags and looking to close out this match.
It's looking quite good from Willie. May have just got the info. Not sure if he actually spotted Destiny at the bottom of mid here. Boost coming up towards short. Wizard going to be the dumpster in this scenario. Information gained that no one is playing deep short. It could be someone in SL. That's still dirty. But the Raw trying to bring this one back. Oh! Top Gun trying to find the pixel angle, but Waffy was already on it. And Waffy's going to become the victor in this situation. Willie pushing short now. The bomb is down in back of apartments. Willie finding one and a second. Beautiful play coming out from Ground Zero. And they are going to take it by 6 rounds. The Raw going to be the ones to swap those jerseys over.
Yeah, look, unfortunately for the Raw, they now have to put their money where their mouth is and put their jersey where their jersey is.
Where their chest is. Where their heart is.
Yeah. Well-deserved victory though from Ground Zero.